Na ye flew plane.
So we were boarding another flight
Our dear Bako Johannesburg.
to Johannesburg.
Ye rule a plane no man.
As soon as we entered
The
the
pacho
plane,
obientia sema mebekay.
please
Any day
listen
make.
attentively.
Menai.
I was not asleep.
The Muyan said demons about a plane. Omu yanketenkete, but Omaso wapa.
They were smallish, but they had long ears.
Yeah, flew plane in an engine is so that.
So before we boarded the plane, the
Air
engine was
condition.
already on.
Yeah.
Everything was set.
Afei, yati plane him sa plane move ya the Huyan say engine in off.
Abusia Apostle Dr. Isaac Owusu Bempah with the Glorious Word Power Ministry International no abekasa say wahu Dem0n play mu where they can imagine say can play mu the nkadi bepa dem play mu watching same way mu enura bra o ma the testimony a story dem adofo utie nse utim say ono Dem0n no hunye Dem0n ketwa we must show so be subscribe to YouTube channel no like no comment so we share na so we follow you TikTok and our Facebook ni na no kasapa media kona na we social media trends those Bempah abekasa watching the testimony story them enra say no to kwan when the back boy no second born rather no second born to kwan na plane mu bra plane is from sabra na engine no o maso engine so kama pa plane de ebetu na ho no onya yi trade say Dem0n bi apa ho na Dem0n ba no mo doso ye pa o mo ye ntia enketengete o maso wo ye pa mo bemben no enketengete ho no start so hu say Dem0n mo bi plane mu abra plane nso so me bia ye set o ma ye bia clean yan so hu say plane no Dem0n no mo be mu ho nyakopon say na di satre ne say so wan hwe ya plane na wotim ne benya accident was soro what you say na fi wo no bompa ye na ni nyina ye dem to try ba sabre no na plane ye de enya ntu lucky no na plane ye de enya ntu ba wo se ketu na nka we si wo so ho no dia anka sabre no ko nka atiase fo we no e na okan wo na asore dem ho enra testimony de wo hye de enya ketu akra okan ya kan se me ye de account ye nkwane ko kyeremu ni ye pa Reverend Apostle Owusu Bempah kan no bi emra.
Let me share this testimony with you before we close.
Me pacho so obi ready so beti.
I'm sure everybody is ready and attentive to listen.
Now so for Nana Kwesi at the plane no.
Reverend Nana Kwesi was with me on the flight.
Kofi we mfre Kofi mra. And I'm a second born no.
And my second born.
Osofo mon kon Kofi mame. And I'm madam Fubia. Your friend no Nana Prempe. And he didn't say. Nana Osei-Tutu.
And a friend of mine who is called Nana Osei-Tutu.
Your friend Prince Nana Osei-Tutu.
He's called Prince Nana Osei-Tutu.
Ofra himfie.
He's from the palace. He's from the royal family.
The entire nene kwa dia men kanchire mu.
And I'll not disclose the reason why we went with him. He's from the royal family.
Enya South Africa ne call you. Enya se bia call Johannesburg.
We did not travel to South Africa or Johannesburg, but we actually went to Swaziland.
Baby, I ken ne wono Swaziland for no.
Where the king of Swaziland resides.
Na hono kwa I just so kosi Johannesburg. And sana would the plane at Twaso.
But if you are going to Swaziland, you must make a stop at South Africa before you connect another flight to Swaziland. I want everybody to be attentive. Don't despise what I'm about to say. So today when you get home, use what you are going to hear to revive your faith.
You fly free Hanoma. Now a 5 hours flight. 5 hours and 30 minutes. You take it 10 hours. And I 11 hours.
So in the trip from Ghana to South Africa was within 10 to 11 hours.
Nah, Kofi bra. What the ono cheni na amra. Fa o cheni na na obi bia bra. Bonsama Kofi.
Put your hands together for Kofi Isaac.
Na yeduru baby Ethiopia. You're from Addis Ababa.
So
Addis Ababa.
When our first flight landed at Addis Ababa,
now you flew plane.
So we were boarding another flight
Johannesburg.
To Johannesburg.
You plane.
As soon as we entered the plane, please listen attentively. I was not asleep.
Demons.
All of a sudden, I saw demons entering the plane. They were smallish, but they had long ears. And they had some tiny horns on top of their head. And their wings were like that of a bat. I saw that these demons invaded the plane. All of a sudden, I saw these demons mopping the aeroplane. But there was no death
why?
In the plane. So when I gained my consciousness, I was asking, what am I seeing? What is happening? So as I was seeing them, I thought they had also seen me. But it looks like they could not identify me or they could not see me. But I was looking at them. All of a sudden,
business class.
I saw two of these demons went to stand beside a certain woman at the business class. One was holding a sword and the other was holding an arrow. And they were so furious as they were standing beside the woman. I also don't know the woman.
Including
So I saw that these demons had finished mopping inside the aeroplane and they were done and they left. With the two who were standing beside the woman, they also left. So I was asking myself that what is happening? What am I seeing? What does this mean? So I also asked the Lord to give me an explanation to what has been revealed unto me. But I didn't hear anything.
Your plane are ready, take it off.
So everything was set for us to depart.
Exit say demonstration in every so the small car I am a pushy plane and be pushy a plane now just say Bibia is on course.
So the air hostess had finished giving their making their presentation about the safety rules whenever you board a flight or whenever you are boarding a flight, and the plane was moving backwards to the position where it must begin to
pilot
take the flight.
Watch hours do yedi be free baby I want to Johannesburg.
To the point where the pilot also announced the hours that we are going to stay in the air.
Obi a watna play mu da bia nim o ma kire aduane a omde be maye ama ye book a obi a nhwem no nchu so aduane o pe me pese me kire say bibia ye set.
So they are giving us a menu for us to go through so that you have the opportunity to choose or the privilege to choose the meal that you want or you prefer. So everything was set.
Engine is so condition BPR.
So the engine had already been started, everything was intact.
Yeah, full plane in an engine is so that.
So before we boarded the plane, the engine was already on. Yeah. Everything was set.
Afei ya te plane sa plane move ya de hu ya ne say engine ni nyina ko off.
So as the plane started moving, before they will increase the acceleration, everything came to a stop. The engine stopped. The engine shut down.
Pilot also can be answering, but a doom.
The pilot did not say anything. No announcement was made before everything went off. So I was quiet in the plane. I was sitting down quietly in the plane.
And I rather catch them and say, Nia Essi, our former, and Kebesi was so.
So as I was sitting down quietly, the Lord spoke to me and he said, what has happened here while the aircraft is on the ground was meant to happen in the air.
A honamihu angel, our kuta sword, our bejina plane nanim. Nti a chire kura san the rade catch them so on the suma angel no, emo be stop plane no, because demons are planning so on be crash plane was through. Not because of me, not because of phobia plane, but nipa ba kupe binti.
So an angel appeared to stand in front of the aeroplane with a sword. So it was after the incident that the Lord was giving me details about all that happened, and he told me that he was the one who sent the angel to come and stop the plane from flying. So if you ask Reverend Nana Kwesi and my son Kofi,
engine call off.
When the engine went off,
just like that. Pilot names the engine call off because everything is okay.
And the pilots themselves didn't know that the engine was going to shut down. But it took everybody by surprise. And because of the revelation that I had,
I'm saying, no, something is not right.
I told myself that something was not right.
I'm sorry,
so I stood up in a plane.
And I'm a call. And
I went straight to the supervisor.
And I'm a said,
so I asked her, what is going on? Something is happening.
Oh no, so okay, Oba.
So she also told the prophet that she should give her some few minutes. And I'm
right back. A pilot for no.
So she went to where the pilots are.
Oba no catch him and say pilot for no say omunim the reason until plane no yes sir. But
so
almost a technical problem na almost say take care of it.
So when the supervisor returned, she told the prophet that this is there was a minor technical issue and they are handling it, so everything will be fine.
And I'm saying no.
So
BB Koso.
So the prophet insisted that no, something is going on.
And original plane.
So I stood up in the plane. And I shouldn't have behaved like that.
And I'm saying
and I said, all the passengers on board, listen to me. What we just experienced on ground would have happened when we were airborne. It's by the grace of God that it happened when we were on land. So with me, I have seen something. So with me and my children and my friend, we are getting out of the plane. But anyone who wants to die, stay in the plane.
South Africa minister and a
so it was at this time that someone shouted from the back that the woman sitting in front, the person sitting in front is a minister from South Africa.
So from
the direction that the person who shouted pointed, I thought it was a certain man.
Oh, in fact,
and their appearance signified that they were prominent people.
Enti call omu nchen.
So I went straight to them.
I'm catching them say me minister.
And I told them that I'm a minister.
Plane na ye timu no. Se ye kwaso tenam na san take you off ye nyina ye bewu owiem. Enti one na minister. Okon kan kire pilot ne say me si plane ntimi fly.
So I told this person that I am a minister, and I'm telling him that if we continue to stay on board and the aeroplane takes off, we are going to die.
And I say, please, can you go and sit down?
And the man said, please, can you resume your seat?
And I'm saying, you want me to go and sit down?
And I told him, do you expect me to go and sit down?
Me, I won't sit down.
With
if
me,
you like,
I'm not going to sit down. But if you want or you prefer,
me,
you can sit down.
My family, we are going out.
But as for me and my family, we are going out of the plane.
And this flight can never fly.
And this aeroplane can never fly. This aeroplane can never fly. If you like, you can challenge me. So they started the engine again.
Air conditioning, but heat.
So the air condition was not working well. Instead of cooling the air,
and
the
a gentleman can say
hotter.
South Africa minister netron be catch me say enya papa no omumi enu ye ne bodyguard but maame no na je say maame na mu say Dem0n na be gina ne nchen say ono a na me call maame ne nchen direct.
So the gentleman who shouted about the minister from South Africa pointed the woman to me, that there is a woman rather who is the minister from South Africa, but the men behind him are her aides.
And I'm saying, minister, my family and I, we are going out.
So I told the minister,
if you want to die, you stay in this flight.
So I told the minister that as for me and my family, we are getting down.
And I'm sure
she can fly with this flight.
Come and follow me.
So I shouted in a plane that anybody who does not want to die, follow me and let's get off this flight. So people begin to rise up from their seats. So they came to call the minister, who was the woman seated in front, and they took her to where the pilots are. Minister ne baya no do omu krom kasa ka bibia kire ne body guys mienu. The mu yan so ma for omu bag omu be piako. And I'm so wow. So when the minister came back, the minister is going. He said something to her bodyguards in their native language, and all of a sudden I saw that these gentlemen took their bags. So what did the woman hear from the pilot that she came to take her bodyguards? And I'm getting off the plane. So I told all of them that have you seen that they are taking the minister out because he is of more relevance. They are taking her out. So some men came into the flight and was in charge. And the person said, he is the one in charge of this problem. And what is the problem? And I'm catching this plane ain't mean to. So I told him that, gentleman, you know something? This aeroplane cannot fly. If you try, it will crash in the air. Now crash and you're warning, because something is going on. And what would have caused the plane crash is what has happened here, as a warning or as a sign to us that we should not fly. I've also my friend engineers. So afterwards, he told me that they have called their engineers and they are working on it, and within the shortest possible time, they will finish with their work. So after about 30 minutes, the announcement came from the pilots saying problem is very difficult. That they are having some difficulties. They are having some difficulties with the engine. So they will not be able to fly. Put your hands together for the Lord.
Gentleman be on any wife at Timechi.
So there was a gentleman and his wife who were seated behind me.
Nobleman.
Some nobleman.
A honor free baby or one and obey me same.
So he came from his seat.
Save our souls.
And he shook my hand and said, "You have saved our souls."
And I'm saying, "Glory be to Jesus."
And he said, and I said, "Glory be to Jesus."
Afei, Bakusubaya or see you are the man.
And another person also came and he said, "You are the man. You have saved us." So everybody came out of the airplane. They tried all their best. They still could not fly the plane. So we were given another aeroplane. So with Reverend Nana, Kofi, my friend and myself, we were seated and we were having our own conversation. That was when the Lord brought to my understanding the reason why the aeroplane was going to crash. It was because of the minister. There is a contention between this minister and some spirits. And these spirits have become so furious.
There are two things.
There are two things. It's either they offered their help to her, or someone is contending with this woman about her position. So when we left where we were seated, so when they came to call us from where the launch that they gave us to board a new flight, they went ahead of us. So when they got there and they could not find me, they were asking about, where is this minister? Where is this minister? So it was when we got there that they said, so far as we have the minister with us, we are safe to fly. So with Reverend Nana, Kofi and my friend,
oh, this is the minister. If the minister is going, then we are going. If the minister is flying, then we are going to fly. But if this minister is not going, we will go.
So when we entered the bus that was taking us to the tarmac for us to board the new flight, they were saying that so far as the minister of God is flying with us, we are safe. So far as he's coming with us, we will fly. So in the bus, everybody was looking at the minister.
I believe some of them are political minister.
I believe
some a reverend minister, but
I believe some thought I was a minister of state, but I'm a reverend minister. Not knowing there were some Ghanaians who were on board.
They know me.
So they were telling the other passengers that they know this man. So when we boarded the new flight, everybody, so everybody wanted to be sure if I was on the new flight. There were some who just came to where I was sitting to just come and look at my face and smile.
Your next plane, it taking off.
So the next plane took off. So I wanted everybody's heart to be at peace. So I intentionally stood up and walked to where Reverend Nana Kwesi and Kwaku were sitting. So I was telling Reverend Nana Kwesi and Kofi that this plane will take us safely. But I said it on top of my voice for everyone to hear me. So those who were clapping. Those who were happy were happy. They were celebrating their joy. And by the grace of God, we landed peacefully.
omom titi play no no ebinum ba me nchen omo se oh nyame na mo so asevu yen kanya wanke yekowu enam se Awurade
abusia na se wakasa what intro testimony a oma na se Dem0n pie pa e wo play mu we de asefem because play Dem0n etime pie e wo play mu nye Dem0n ba ko nye Dem0n bi no betimi akọ eye executive for nyina ho de utimi say enye Dem0n ketewa e no hu ne ni so mesra wo so be subscribe to YouTube channel no na wa like no comment so we share na enso bia so we follow ye e wo TikTok e na Facebook nyina no eye kasapa media kwa so di send comment nko a e ne ehia e wo comment section ko no ase social media trends no bi di e de ya Princess Macau.